Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez making it official, backing President Biden's 2024 re-election in a possible bid to unite progressive Democrats behind the administration. But what about all those times AOC slammed Biden for not being progressive enough?
Let's send a message to President Biden right here and right now. Get it together, Mr. President. It's time to cancel student loans.
Biden administration's immigration policy writ large is not working. It's wrong and it's inhumane.
If the president has a vision, then that's something certainly we're all willing to entertain and examine when the time comes.
That's not a yes.
Yeah.
Here to react, Fox News contributor Charlie Hurt. Charlie, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Great to see you.
It's great to see you.
So what changed?
Well, I think the big thing that changed, and I love that montage, is that Joe Biden got the message and did everything she asked.
Not good.
And if you go through that, whether it's open borders or this kleptocratic free student loan deal to bail out colleges, massively wealthy colleges and universities, he's done it all. And so Joe Biden has kind of become this sort of Santa Claus for the left, giving them absolutely everything they want, they didn't pass the Green New Deal. We got the Green New Deal. It was just called something different, which, of course, as KT McFarland was just talking about, which is why we have the war in Ukraine, is because of the war on American energy independence. Joe Biden has given them everything, and so they're on board now.
You could use this endorsement against him. President Biden is so progressive, AOC is even endorsing him.
Yeah, crazy, wacko left wing. Like progressive, when I think of progressive, I think of like a lot of the stuff that Barack Obama did. What Joe Biden is doing is Barack Obama on steroids. It is so far beyond progressive. Not that progressive is all that progressive anyway, but it is flat out left wing, stealing money from workers to pay off student loans of people.
And he's going to try it again.
Yes, and he's not going to let it up.
So
that's why they love him.
Her exact quote when asked if she's going to endorse Biden is, I believe given the field, yes. Yeah. So not a ringing endorsement, but an endorsement nonetheless. And she said given the field. So what if somebody else jumps in, like Governor Gavin Newsom? Could she change her mind? And do you think that's a possibility?
So I love it because you're right. It's like
he's the best of bad options.
Yeah, exactly. It's a terrible, she doesn't like him. Yeah. But she loves what's on the menu, and so she's going with it. And the fact that, and then you have somebody like a true disruptor like RFK Jr., who is, I mean, he's double digits in the polls. Some polls have him up with 20% of the Democrat support, which is tremendous. I think it's a real tell. AOC is not really a progressive or not, and not really there to disrupt Washington. If she were, she'd be sporting RFK. Yeah. She's not, because she loves the system. The system is now obeying her.
She's a part of the swamp.
She's part of the swamp, and she's getting her way.
RFK Jr.'s campaign manager is going to join us next hour because, like you said, he made $3 million in 3 days, and he is double digits in the polls. A lot of people wrote him off. But he's shaking it up. And that's small donors with like crazy enthusiasm. If you ever get into a room full of RFK supporters, watch out, because I mean they are crazy enthusiastic about So we've been talking, Charlie, a lot about the cocaine found at the White House. And it's turning into a bit of a scandal because the White House is dodging questions left and right, making people even more curious about whose really it was than they were before. And then you start to think about all the other scandals when it comes to Hunter Biden's plea deal, the granddaughter that the president refuses to acknowledge. Do you think that those things will actually impact the presidential election? Are voters going to focus on that, or at the end of the day, is it policy?
I think at the end of the day, it's going to wind up being economics and the inflation and the federal government coming and taking away people's stoves, gas prices, a war in Ukraine that we shouldn't have gotten in the first place. All of these things are going to be the things that really drive it. But you have this undercurrent of wild corruption in the Biden administration. Yeah. And I think so as that a backdrop, it's not good.
Yeah, and he's painted himself for 50 years as middle-class Joe with family values, and then you look at all of this and you go, that doesn't really add up.
He's trying to blame the Coke on the workers at the White House.
And on the economic front, he's doing Bidenomics, which is going to be a tough sell as well. All right, you can catch Charlie later on the big weekend show. You're going to be on it today and tomorrow. You've got your work cut out for you, but we know that you are up for the task.
We're going to bring it.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.